What's going on, everybody? In today's video, we got a special one today going over the top 15 PSA 10s. This is some video that somebody requested, so I'm happy to do that for you. If anybody else has more requests, I love taking them, see if I can do it. So this is a top 15 Sword and Shield All Arts in PSA 10 form. Starting out with the big one, the big boy, Umbreon VMAX Alternate Art from Evolving Skies, sitting at $853 raw and $1,300 with a PSA 10. I'm going off of what eBay last solds are. I understand that might not be exactly what the prices are, but it gives me like a good understanding of the ballpark. $1,300 in a PSA 10. Adding like a good $500-$600 to that card raw is insane. Moving on to Rayquaza VMAX, which is $445 raw, and then $560 in a PSA 10. This is like adding like $110, which is not really a lot, and in all honesty, not really worth it. If you're a big PSA collector, buy the PSA 10. If you're honestly, if you're a singles collector, see if you can buy like a PSA 8, PSA 9, because I'm sure those cards honestly might be less expensive than the regular near mint copy of Rayquaza. Yeah, adding like $100 to its value with getting a PSA 10 is not really worth it at all. Opportunity for PSA collectors, kind of screwed if you're buying the raw card, in my opinion. I don't know. Usually when you want to grade cards, and I've graded a few cards myself, I want to look for cards that if they were to get a 10, they would add like close to double the value, so that way I'm not like spending a lot of money on grading and not getting any value back in return, if that makes any sense. So yeah, opportunity if you want to pick up a PSA 10 right here is just kind of nuts. Moving on to the Blaziken VMAX, which is $340 raw and $430 in a PSA 10. And once again, the same issue as the Rayquaza VMAX is that it's only adding like $100. So it really makes you think. It's making me think, are these PSA 10 copies being sold? Is that the norm? And these raw cards, is that a little bit inflated? Because if I saw a $430 slab, I would assume that that regular card would be around $200, $215. Anywhere in that ballpark for a modern near mint copy. So yeah, it really makes you think. Moving on to Leafeon VMAX, and this is like, I did not understand this sale. I understand this is a bidding sale, but this is just like proving the point that TCG player like might have some stuff going on with it, because the Leafeon VMAX Alternate Art Secret Rare is $340 on TCG player. One of the most expensive cards from the Sword and Shield era, skyrocketed in price, even beating out like Gengar. The PSA 10 copy is now a $355 card, adding $15. Obviously, there's something going on there, but it's just kind of proving the point. Buy the PSA 10 copy if you want that, instead of just buying the raw card. Don't have to take that chance. Don't have to pay a grading fee. Yeah. Looking at Glaceon VMAX at $315 and $335 in a PSA 10. Same deal. Moving on to Gengar VMAX, which kind of has like a normal PSA 10 multiplier here. $310 in raw form, and then $560 in a PSA 10, and adding $250 to its value. That seems kind of normal, at least what I'm used to seeing, I guess, with like modern near mint copies and in a PSA 10 form. Just kind of seems like normal multiplier. Here we have the Espeon VMAX for $268 on TCG player and $395, so just right about $400 in a PSA 10, and decent multiplier there. It's like $150 $50, so adding onto its PSA 10 price. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to look at PSA 9 recent solds or like PSA 8 recent solds. They're a little bit all over the place, so I didn't want to like give a defined market price, and also it's a pretty long slideshow as well, so I didn't want to make like a crazy long video. But yeah, once again, if you're still watching this and you have any requests that you'd like to make, just let me know down in the comments below. Genuinely, anybody that comments, like, thank you. I really enjoy them. I just like reading them. I like responding to them. I like hearing what people have to say. So yeah, thank you. Moving on to Sylveon VMAX, 230, just a raw copy, and then this guy, best offer was accepted around like just under $300. So not adding a lot, maybe $70, $60. Once again, same kind of deal with the Glaceon and the Leafeon. Not a big PSA 10 multiplier there. Now we're going to look at some of the regular alternate art V, so not the VMAX forms. Starting off with the most expensive one, we have Giratina V from Lost Origin, and in TCG Player it's going for $384, and in PSA 10 form it is going for $700. That's a PSA 10 multiplier right there, literally like double the price for a PSA 10 copy. There's one point where this guy was sitting at like $950, close to $1,000, maybe even broke $1,000 for a PSA 10, and it's since come down, and its raw price has also come down. But that's like a normal PSA 10 multiplier, and that's an expensive one. That is a lot of money to spend on a card. Moving on to Lugia V, TCG Player has it at $192. The PSA 10 copy sells for like $360. So not quite double the price, but still a decent multiplier, and it leads me to believe that like some of the prices on TCG Player kind of match up with the PSA 10 copies. Like obviously those the Leafeon, Glaceon, the Sylveons did not match up, and this is more natural of like a multiplier. Looking at Tyranitar V, I know a lot of people love this. So many people have commented that this is their favorite card, or one of their favorites from the Sword and Shield era. This guy's from Battle Styles and is sitting on TCG Player for $166, and PSA 10 copy goes for $272. Beautiful, beautiful card, and adds like $100 to its to its value when graded a 10. So not bad. Looking at Umbreon V now, this guy was super pumped even before some of the other alt arts were pumped and went through the roof in value. This guy on TCG Players at $165, and on eBay last sold for just over $300, adding like $150 to its value in PSA 10 form. Once again, another beautiful card. Like all of these cards are so good, and I understand why there's so much demand for them, because I want to pick up every single one of these cards that I talk about in today's video. I just can't afford them, and I'm sure a bunch of people can't afford them because the prices are so much higher than what they're used to, or just what they can afford in general. But yeah, this guy for $305 in a PSA 10. Looking at Dragonite, once again, also from Evolving Skies, sitting at $163 on TCG Player and $275 on PSA 10 copy last sold. Once again, adding like $90, not too bad. Pretty good multiplier, fairly, kind of what you're used to. But once again, I could just talk for days on how great all of these cards look, because they're genuinely beautiful. This is the 14th out of 15th card that we're doing in this video. So second to last one, we got the Charizard V from Brilliant Stars, sitting at $160 on TCG Player and $300 in PSA 10, adding $140. Absolutely stunning. And a pretty good multiplier. That's like almost exactly doubling the price. That's exactly what you're looking for in PSA 10 and when you want to grade cards. Moving on to Machamp, our last Pokemon that we're going to be looking at. This is the top 15 most expensive Sword and Shield alternate art cards. I did it from like the raw cards, so there might be like more expensive PSA 10 alternate arts, but I just did it from like the top 15, what TCG player has as a top 15 alternate arts. Machamp, 157 on TCG player, 256 in PSA 10 form. And yeah, that's going to do it. I just kind of, I love taking that request. I genuinely enjoyed making this video. And just to see for myself, like, dude, adding $15 to like Leafeon VMAX's market price to get a PSA 10, that is an opportunity, or like, I don't know, a scam. Like, it's just crazy. I guess an opportunity if you're a PSA 10 collector, scam if you're looking to buy the raw card. But yeah, I just thought I'd do this. Let me know down in the comments if you have a favorite alt art, if you have a video you'd like to see soon. Yeah, and I'll see what I can do.